going on, everybody? Welcome back to Texas Racing Channel. I got the Suburban, if you can't see, got Average Joe sitting up on some wood blocks. Basically, we are going to strip down the rear end. I need to adjust the pinion angle because I was screwing around, I launched it, hit second gear, ripped the whole rear differential almost out of the truck. So that ain't gonna work. What I'm gonna do is, I've ordered some parts. We're gonna relocate the bags. And so it's just some cheap bag kit location devices that I'm going to use. And I've got one of my spare airbags that's under the truck. And I was kind of, farting around underneath there, seeing how it's going to sit. And you can see the other piece right there. And so basically, I figured out that the airbags, and I'll lift it up and show you, they sit too far in the center. They need to be moved to the outside. It's going to create some stability. And I just don't like the way it is. It's kind of rigged up underneath there. And so the fact that I didn't kill myself driving this thing all over the country already is probably a positive, maybe, depending on who you are. But anyway, I want to make it a little more safe. I'm going to drop the whole rear diff down. I'm going to strip all the brackets off of it, whatever's in there right now. And then I'm going to reset everything the way I want it, add a truss to support it, to handle the kind of power this thing's handling, or at least make it a little bit better, and then hopefully this little 10 bolt will be able to hold on for a while. It's already built, it's got axles and all that other stuff in it, and depending on how long this video is, I also, where did I put it? I bought a new camshaft from Texas Speed. You can see it in here. So we went up to a Monster Chop cam. It's called the Monster Chop. I think it's going to sound freaking sick. And also, we picked up, for a partial sponsorship, Circle D converter. So I got a converter
Today, Junior,
being built, and that should be here in a couple weeks. So my goal, though, in the next day or two, maybe 3, because it's me, is to get all this stuff stripped down, get everything kind of located where it needs to be, and get the pinion angle, differential, everything recentered, and go from there. So let me crawl into there, show you guys what I'm talking about, and then we're gonna get to work. So, don't laugh at me. This has been on here for years and it's worked. But the airbags, there's one here and there's one here, right? And then my 4-link straight here and here, and then it's triangulated there and there, so it keeps the differentials centered. And basically, I launched it one day, and this whole apparatus that I built,
that is one big pile of shit,
broke. Now this is the 2.0 version of this. I just slapped it all together, welded it just because I had to get the car somewhere for a meet and a race. And so it's been like that for a couple months now. But when I did it, I didn't get the pinion angle right. And so you can see, I mean, obviously it's in the air right now, but you can see how it sits. It's not right. So I built those so I can put it down on its own weight and put it at ride height, and then I can get in there and adjust it. But basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm ripping all this crap off right here. These are gonna be gone, but basically the bags are gonna move to the outside. So that's why right here you can see this is the sensor for the airbag system. Same thing on the other side. I moved them out of the way because they were mounted right here. And you can see like the center where the wheel is and all that stuff. So anyway, this has been on here for years and it's worked fantastic up until it didn't. And then I'm gonna have to remove on both sides the body mounts here, and on the other side are gonna have to get basically taken out because that's where these are gonna mount up there. And I still to this day don't know if they go like this or if they go like that. I guess they could go either way. So yeah, the bags are gonna get relocated to the outside. So that should help stabilize it a little bit more. And also that will give me the ability to take this makeshift part I have in here out, build a good truss for mounting these tabs on for locating the differential and adjusting it. And then I can run this piece down and maybe like weld it into here and clean all this stuff up and make it nice. So anyway, that's where I'm at. And I want to kind of get this done somewhat quickly, but let me get that apart and we'll go from there. Some stands supporting the rear end, and this is gonna simulate the suspension all the way up because currently it's all the way down. I've got these bags mounted, they're just in place, they're not welded or nothing, they're loose in here, but once I lower the suspension down and get it as low as it'll go, then I'll kind of have an idea of where to place, like where to weld in the brackets. So let's go and lower it down on the stands and see what happens. Well, my dumbass wasn't paying attention and started tacking this stuff in place and didn't record it. So anyway, I just started though. So I just got this guy right here tacked in place. You can see a couple tacks around. And then I'm just in the process of placing the bottom one where I want to put it and getting it tacked in place. I'm gonna do this on both sides, and that way I can locate where I want everything to be, and then we can go through the process of the suspension, what do you call that? Articulating or going through its motions, so we know everything's not going to rub anything and it's going to have full ability to go up and down. And so yeah, let's do that real quick. Let me get these tacked in place and then we'll hook the air up and see what happens. The whole purpose of what I'm doing right now is I want to get these two bolts in the top of that bag right there. So I'm going to lower the suspension down, or it's gonna make the suspension come up so that they'll be able to reach each other. So let's do that real quick. See, the shock's only got like that much more, so it's almost bottomed out, or it is bottomed out. So see what the other side looks like, if that shock's all the way bottomed out or not. Yeah, see, and you can see that shock is bottomed out all the way. So same thing with this side, it's all the way down. Oh man, I got smudge. So anyway, let's tomorrow morning, airbags out, finish weld everything, add some supports to it, and then we'll start on the differential. All right, guys. Next day, not morning so much. So anyway, but I laid down in bed last night after I thought about what we're doing, and so what I've decided to do is throw the wheels and tires on. Everything's just tack welded in, and then I put the supports underneath it here in the front so that I can put it at. I can adjust it up and down. I hook the air back up, but I'll just be able to do it manually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to crawl underneath there and take a look. I'll show you what's going on. So the bags were right here, and now they're here. And my main concern with this is right here, that it doesn't hit the frame. So right now they're all the way up. What's the furthest it would go up? So we know that's not a problem. But that ride height, if that is even close to touching it, then we'll have to do something about that. But being underneath here on this side, you can see it on this side also. Seeing the distance is about the same. If I end up having to move this out and put a spacer in there to get that bag away from the frame, then that's something I got to take into consideration. Okay, so I did figure out though that I needed to move back about 1/2 of an inch, maybe a little bit more would be perfect. So here's my little contraption. But what I ended up doing is roughly cutting out with the plasma cutter about almost 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch out. And I'm gonna go back and clean all that up later. And then here's the other one that's not modified and where it sits. And you can see by pulling it forward with my calculations here, how everything sits, I picked up a 3/4 of an inch of clearance, give or take a few millimeters. That's gonna pull the bag forward, all right? So the bag is gonna come forward, come out this way a little bit and then not touch the frame. So as long as everything, the way I thought about it works, this should fix the problem. And then what I'll do is I'll come back in here and I'll put some plate in here and weld all that and make it stronger and clean all that up with the grinder. I got some extra plate here that's like for roll cage, but I used it to make cow tracks for another guy. I'm gonna basically cut these pieces out and then just shorten them. And then to help strengthen it, because pushing the bag out further, that's gonna put more weight on the end and make you probably wanna bend. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a piece of plate across it. It'll go all the way to the back, to the frame. And then, let me see if I can get that to stay. But I also have to leave enough access to be able to get a wrench in there if I need to get the bag out. So I think if I put it kind of like this here and like that there, I can still get a wrench in the middle and get it undone and get the air lines out. And then also that'll help give it some more structure, because that was a problem I was having before because the truck weighs so much. You know, it's 5,000 plus pounds. I think on the scale it's 5,200 pounds.
That's a huge bitch.
So anyway, this is the plan. Hopefully it works. I'm gonna do this first one, kind of get it mocked up and see. We'll go from there and see what happens. Hopefully at that point I can start welding everything up and getting this thing back together, because I'm really excited about the next stage or next step of this truck, which includes a big ass cam and a whole lot of nitrous. Splatter I'm getting. So just turn the gas up a little bit. On the next one we'll see what happens. It was down at like 15, 18, but I'm gonna put up to like 22, 21, 22, see if that helps out. Well guys, I had to bring everything to a halt. I did get one side done. We'll go look at that here in a second. But old trusty Hobart 135 decided to crap out on me. In my other garage, I have my 190. It's a better welder anyway. Does it's got 220. I can do thicker metal with it. So I went and grabbed another bottle because I was almost empty. Let me show you what happened over here, because I need a bigger garage. I need like a 4, 5, 10 bay something. All right. So I got this side all in and done. You can see the supports on it, and the same thing with the bottoms. We're all set and ready to go. There's some paint on it drying. Just got to put another coat of flat black on it, and it'll be good to go. And then we have the other bag over here, and that's what I was getting ready to do this one, and the welder decided not to work. So anyway, I got this guy ready to go. I got all the parts, everything. Just got to do a little cleanup and get all this stuff figured out real quick, and we should be ready to rock. So hopefully things go better than today, because I've been running around for the last 9 or 10 hours trying to find parts to get one of these two welders to work so I can continue. So anyway, wish me luck. Well, luck has prevailed. I got the welder working. And I got the driver's side done. And you can see it's painted, ready to go. Everything's welded in. But before I put the bag and everything in, let me show you. I think I'm going to go underneath and start reinforcing the frame, because I was going to box all that in, but I got to get rid of all the old stuff. So let's just let's creep under there real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, now that we're underneath, you can see where the old bag used to sit, right here to right here. And you can see I cut the frame out a couple years ago, and that's what I want to fix. So now that the bag's on the outside, I'm going to cut this all off, get rid of this stuff, patch this back in, and then from back here where the gas tank is, a few inches in front of that, I'm going to box this whole piece in. I'm going to box that whole piece in all the way to right here. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. You can't really see. You can see the fuel lines I've got pulled away, but we'll figure that part out later. But if you have from the bottom side here, I got that one in. And so I also box the frame all the way back to here. So that's what I want to do, because then I can take this whole thing out, reset everything up, and make it nice and pretty for me. I know some of this stuff looks absolutely horrible, but you know what? It's what I can do for what I got and what I can afford. And some of it looks good and some of it looks like crap, but it's worked for the last couple of years. I've been all over the country driving everywhere with it, and so we're going to send it again.
You guys silly? I'm still going to send it.
So let me start cutting all this crap out, and so we can clean it up real good, and we'll go from there and see how everything goes. But I'm kind of excited about this. I've been wanting to do this for a while, to kind of stiffen up this chassis a little bit, because this is a big truck. Joe's is a heavyweight. So let's let's get to that, because basically this is just all demolition. I'm good at breaking and cutting stuff up. All right, as long as everything went well, you just saw a time lapse of me pulling some of the brackets out, and then the batteries died on my GoPro. So anyway, I got everything out. I'll show you back underneath there in a second. And so what I already did is I didn't realize the camera was dead. I did a cutout of the piece of metal we got to make. So I need to make 2 of these, one for each side. This fits perfect on both sides, above the rear end and the frame. And I've got some plate. I'm not sure the thickness of this, 1/4 inch maybe. Super heavy duty stuff, but I'm going to use this over the rear diff. It's a little bit more heavy duty. Hopefully it doesn't take forever for me to cut this. I was thinking about using the plasma cutter, but I want it to be a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to try using, I ran over to Hobo Freight and grabbed a bunch of cutting wheels and stuff like that. I got them in here somewhere. They're down here in my Harbor Freight bag. But hopefully I don't run out. But hopefully this cuts it clean, and I can make it nice and pretty, and we can stick it up in there and make sure it fits. I want to stick it between the frames. I don't want to stick over the frame. I want it to go in. That way I can weld it down and then tap it down and make it fit right. So anyway, let's see how this goes, and hopefully I'm not out here for the next 5 hours cutting this piece of sheet. Tell you, the fabrication guys are making me work hard on this one, and here's the reason why. I'm cutting this diamond plate, right, which is some pretty serious stuff. Burnt through all 3 of my grinders / cutters. This one is, I think, a 5 amp. These are 4.3. I've had these for years, and they've cut through stuff and never given me an issue or overheated. Last night, literally, they all got smoked. So I had to go to Harbor Freight. Got 2 more, not cheapy ones, but they're twice the amperage of these at 8 amps, or almost twice the amperage. And then I got the Big Daddy for cutting 13 amp high output one. So we'll see how they work. And I figured, well, might as well stop trying to kill myself from ingesting all these metal flakes, and so I got some new filters for my respirator, and hopefully I don't get cancer doing this. So back at it again. Hopefully I can at least get one done, and then I have my template, a firm template. But anyway, I want to get back to work because I'd like to have this done before next year. All right, so it feels like what is next year, even though it's not. And right now, I'm getting the plate positioned in where I can go ahead and burn it in here. And so I'm just basically spacing it, kind of getting it. So it's really heavy metal, so it's a little bit to work with. But if I can get it to weld, if I can get it welded in place in a couple spots, then I can kind of shape the frame into it and just kind of get everything where I need it to be. But anyway, yeah, this is going to be interesting. So much I can burn myself. Plus, I realized while I was underneath here, look at these airlines, and it works. Everything works and it doesn't leak. That's an airline. You can see the around here. That's where the airbag was smacking the bottom of the frame or the body of the truck, and it squished the airline. And the airlines actually still work, so I'm going to fix that too. But regardless, it's starting to happen finally. Got this stuff going. I made a little cutout so I access the rear sway bar if I need to, and once I start welding it in, I should be able to shrink the spaces in there and kind of manipulate where I want it to go with a hammer and a lot of cussing. Guys, fast forward, I did not record. I mean, you saw me setting everything up, and basically it's just me welding it in. And then this is just flat black paint to give it some surface to adhere to, because I've welded it, grinded it down, made it nice and smooth, just so it looks nicer. And then I'm going to put like some bed liner on it to help keep the frame from anything from rusting. And the other side, it looks exactly the same for the most part. It's hard to see, but let me see if I can spin this light around. So anyway, now I am getting the sensors back in. I've got the leveling sensors back in, and then I got to throw the bags in, which are around here somewhere. I see one way over there. So I think I'm going to mount it right here, and then I'm going to attach the other end, and I'm going to mount this guy right here. And then as this will be stationary, I mean, it'll move up and down like this, but then as the frame goes up and down, this will be the contact point for the suspension for the ride height to know where it's at. So let me go ahead and mount the sensors. I'll do the same thing on both sides. Let's see here. So bags are in. You can see they're bolted down. You can see right here I have the sensor in. All right, so it's mounted up here, and then it goes down to the bottom right there. And I got to put the fuel lines up and all that stuff. And I'll clean all that stuff up later. And then that bag is in, and you can see the same thing with the sensor on this side. I kind of adjusted the pinion a little bit, so it's kind of straight. But once we put the car on the ground, let it cycle, let the bags learn, then we should be good to go to come in and do the pinion angle. So let me put this thing down on the ground, and hopefully the battery's charged enough to go through the cycle. If not, I'll have to do it in the morning after the battery charges overnight. All right, guys. This is the Ride Tech going through a learn cycle, and I've already adjusted the pinion angle. I just didn't get it on video. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.